I have 2 days of drill with the California State Guard in Fresno before heading to Sequoia National Park.
Choose to.
You got this. You'll pass it.
Is he always like this?
Yes.
Doing video movies?
I guess.
True?
Just him, because nobody will believe me.
No, not happy. Okay, just tell him the number.
Lay down and I'll face down.
Did you play any sports in high school?
Played chess.
Oh my god.
Noisy night.
All right, ready for bed.
good. I'm volunteering this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So today is Saturday, January 25th. I'm coming from Fresno. I just had drill for 2 days with the California State Guard. I'm going to end the weekend with 2 days here in Sequoia National Park. Right now I'm making my way to the Foothill Visitor Center. I'm going to check in with the ranger and then pick up a radio for the weekend and start trail trekking first thing in the morning. Here we are, Site 14. I'm staying at Potwisha campsite number 14. I'm a little tired after 2 days of drill, so I'm going to have a quick and easy dinner tonight. Top ramen. I'm almost ready for bed, but I'm waiting for my wife to get home from work. I noticed there's a payphone next to the bathrooms, so I'm going to try and give her a call. But first, I thought I'd tell you about a little story that happened to me when I was in Korea. It came to me when I was eating top ramen for dinner tonight. I was stationed in Korea in 1988, and at that time they had an exercise every year called Team Spirit. That's when the US forces and the South Korean forces band together and train as if there's an invasion by North Korea. During this particular Team Spirit exercise, our current commander had just arrived from Delta Force. So he was a lot gung-ho. Our objective was to attack an enemy force that had their back against a mountain. I guess they thought it would be easy to defend from 3 sides instead of 4. Well, our gung-ho Delta Force commander decided that we were going to attack them from the rear. This required that we hump up and over mountains for 3 days with little to no sleep in order to get to the objective on time. On the final day, we had one last push to the top of the mountain. We were out of food and water, and we were told that when we got to the top, there would be resupply. We got to the top, there was nothing there. We were starving and we were thirsty. A short time later, a helicopter flew overhead, the doors opened, and they started throwing boxes down at us. When we opened the boxes, we found cases and cases of top ramen, but we still didn't have any water. I don't remember where the water came from, but I remember that we had to eat the top ramen dry, and it took several years for me to start liking top ramen again. That's the end of the story.
Hi, honey. I'm at Potwisha. In the morning, I'm going to get up. I don't know when. Just, I guess whenever it gets warm, and I'm going to hike up to Marble Falls. Anyway, I just wanted to call and tell you, say hi and tell you that I love you.
Good morning. Today is January 26th, and I woke up with the sound of rain hitting the tent. I'm laying here trying to decide whether to get up and do the hike to Marble Falls, or just hang around camp today and do the hike tomorrow. The sign said this is one of the more rugged trails within the park. I wondered what this flume was used for. I knew it wasn't left over from the logging days. As luck would have it, I found out the next day. I flagged down a man from Edison as he passed by my campsite. Good morning.
Morning.
Thanks for stopping.
Hey, sure thing.
Yesterday I did a hike to Marble Falls, and I passed what looks like some sort of a flume, and I was hoping maybe you could tell me what that was.
Sure can. That's part of my job as a hydro operator for Southern California Edison. I check these flow lines that are in the Sequoia River Valley. So there's 3 main flow lines in the valley that feed 3 powerhouses. This is the newest of the 3, built in 1913. This is the Marble flow line, which takes a tap off the Marble Creek, and then it joins the middle flow line on the other side of the river. That middle flow line takes a tap off the middle fork of the Sequoia River. And then those 2 lines join together, and then it goes for about 3.5 miles down to the forebay, which is about 700 feet above the Sequoia 3 powerhouse. So that water drops 700 feet, produces about 330 pounds of water pressure, turns 2 water turbines, and makes about enough electricity for 5,000 people.
Oh.
And then there's 2 other flow lines, the Sequoia 1 flow line, the Sequoia 2 flow line. The Sequoia 1 flow line, which starts up in the Mineral King area, was built in 1896. And that unit's been online since 1899.
Wow.
Now the units have been upgraded over the years, but so the whole project makes enough electricity for about 8,000 homes.
Yeah, I was going to ask you when that was built.
Yeah, so 1899 is when the first unit went online, and this is the newest one at 1913.
Oh, that sounds like an interesting job.
It's fantastic.
And you picked a great place to work.
Oh yeah, yeah. And to get out to the middle flow line, we have a trail that leads down to the river, and then we have a cart that we take across the river on a cable.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I get to go for a cart ride every other day to check, because these intakes need to be checked every other day at a minimum as debris comes down.
Right.
In the fall, you get a lot more debris in the flow line, and it packs up on the grid. So you have to go out there and manually rake the grids like they've been doing for the past 100 years.
And you do that too?
That's part of my job. That's
Oh, wow.
what I'm going to check right now.
All right. Well, I won't tie you up any longer. Thank you very much.
No, you're welcome.
It's hot. The rain stops. Time to lose the jacket. I debated on whether or not to bring it. I wish I would have left it. I never hike with a jacket, and this is the reason why. I'm probably more wet now than if I had gotten rained on. Instead of carrying a tripod on this 6-mile hike, I decided to use my platypod for the first time. I found an interesting rock to shoot the last video clip from. It looks like an almost perfect straight cut. I searched around and I don't see where the other half of the rock is. All the content for this hike was shot entirely with the platypod.
I'll talk more about it in an upcoming video. I thought so. It's bay laurel. Morning.
Hey again.
You made it?
Nah, turn around. It's gonna be too late for her.
Well, as you can see, I decided to hike to Marble Falls today after all. I got to the turnaround point mentioned in the guidebook just as it started to rain. It says here, the actual Marble Falls is a little further up the canyon, but inaccessible. I can see them from here, and that's good enough for now. I probably shouldn't be out here in the rain. I got back from the hike in time to have lunch before the skies opened up. It's been raining for about 30 minutes. I climbed up into the tent to get out of the rain. I was going to roast hot dogs for dinner tonight over an open fire, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get one lit. Looks like I have company.
Good morning.
Hey, Paul. Hey, I'm getting ready to pack up. You were asking me yesterday about the tent. but I was getting ready to head out on a hike. If you have a few minutes, I can tell you about it now.
Beautiful.
Paul, there's our friend from last night.
Hey, it's Marilyn.
Good morning, Marilyn.
How you guys doing?
We're good.
Great.
Are you getting ready to head out?
Yeah, you want to see my van?
Sure.
There's a handle right here. This is my Ram ProMaster custom van. I bought it as a complete shell, and both the front seats turn. And what I did was I put up solar, 600-watt solar. I've got a fridge with a freezer that runs off of solar, a pantry, my bed east-west, storage over the bed, clothes go under the bed.
You were telling us last night that you used to own a quilt shop.
Yep,
And
I owned a quilt shop in Bend, Oregon for 10 years. It was called Quilt Works.
And I noticed there's a quilt on your bed. Did you make that?
Yep, it's just a rag quilt, but it's comfortable and you can get it dirty and not worry about it. Throw it in the washer and the dryer. Cute,
Nice.
huh? And it goes with my decor, my curtains, and my colors. And I have a little quilt here. This covers up the control panel.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah, yeah, because these little teeny lights on the control panel are like spotlights at night. So, but I also have a stovetop here, sink with running water, heater, stainless steel 14-gallon water tank, gray water tank, and the coup de la grace is the compostable toilet.
Where's that at?
Right down here. I just pull it out, it slides out easily on the carpet. There's the urine jug here, and you empty that every day, every other day. And then the poop part, you can get up to 35, 40 uses out of it. You just stir it, you put in a compostable material. It's the dandiest. It's a Nature's Head compostable toilet.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for letting me share it with you. Terrence, your Jeep is so cool. What's that latitude and longitude? What's that of?
When I first started volunteering here in Kings Canyon, there was a glass in the gift shop, and it had these coordinates on it.
Okay.
And I asked the people at the gift shop what they were, and no one could tell me. So I did a little bit of research, and I found out that those coordinates is the exact middle of Kings Canyon National Park.
Okay.
So I decided that I would put it on the Jeep, and then if you walk over here to the hood,
Yeah, I like that.
I took a screenshot of a topographical map of Kings Canyon, and the very center of the park is right here at the very center of the map.
Okay, so then that's the coordinate.
And so that's what the coordinates are
I
for.
love it. That's so cool. And then how did you get these? Those are all the hiking, fishing.
Right, those are trail symbols,
Yeah,
and those are my favorite things.
yeah.
So the binoculars are wildlife viewing, Jeep trails, kayaking, hiking, tent camping, campfires, picnic area or day use area. I have a fascination with black bears. I do like to fish, and I volunteer at a fire lookout tower.
That's so cool. So what is Seiki?
Seki is Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Park. So all the national parks are abbreviated with 4 letters. So if it's a national park with a single name, it's the first 4 letters of that name. If it's a double name like Sequoia and Kings Canyon, then they take the first 2 letters of Sequoia and the first 2 letters of Kings.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Except for Carlsbad Cavern.
So C-A and then cavern, C-A-C-A.
Right.
So they don't
So it
do
would have
caca.
been exactly. It would have been C-A-C-A. So they didn't want to do caca.
Well, you guys last night sitting around the campfire with you, that was the highlight of my day. I sure enjoyed it. And I was telling you about my blog and actually my journey. My journey is called Sufficient, S-E-W, F-I-S-H-E-N-T. And I have a blog, and it's at sufficient.com. And what it is that on my new journey, because I've just retired, I have purpose. The purpose is promoting my nonprofit, So Teach Me. I have passion. The passion is fly fishing and planning, and the planning is that I arrange my teach me presentations to match the hatch, where the fishing is good as when I'm doing presentations.
What questions did you have?
How many people does it sleep? Who makes it? How does this vehicle support what looks like a heavy tent?
Well, actually, that's one of the reasons I bought this. When I was shopping around for a rooftop tent, there's all different kinds of brands and makers. I selected Front Runner because this is the lightest tent on the market and it sleeps 2 people. They also had a rack system specific to my vehicle, which would support the Jeep. So the company Front Runner is based out of South Africa. They have a store in Agora Hills, which is the northern part of LA. When I went in there to do research, I found that they had a lot of other things that I wanted to get. A tailgate shelf, a table, the crates that I can show you in a few minutes. Everything that on my bucket list of, hey, I want to get this, they had there. And I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so the fact that all of my things could be purchased from one manufacturer was a benefit. So that's why I selected this one.
That's beautiful. Hey, can you show me those braces inside?
Yep. So these are the braces that Front Runner engineered specific to this model of Jeep. So what it does is it bolts to the roll bar here, they drill through the top, and then the weight from the tent and the cargo rack is transferred not onto the top, but through the top into the roll bar. And that's how it supports the weight of the tent and the people inside. I came across this handy little gadget at Walmart. It saves space. It's a collapsible stool. And I need it to reach. Luckily I didn't get wet. Actually, this is a lot easier with 2 people. When my wife's helping me, it goes a lot faster. Paul, you want to help?
You got it, buddy.
So by having 2 people, one person closes it on the other side, and then this person actually works to tuck it in and make the pleats that's needed so that it lays flatter. Okay, go ahead and come down. Okay, stop. Okay, down. Keep coming. Okay. Keep going. Okay. One of the things I struggle with when I'm by myself is getting the covers zipped up all the way. I'm not tall enough to reach across from side to side. So I came up with this idea to buy a lanyard with a little carabiner on it, so I can get it zipped up half the way, throw the lanyard to the other side, and then come around. Then I grab it from this side, and I just keep going. Well, it's finally time to load the Front Runner crates that I told you about earlier. One fact that I left out before, they're actually called wolf packs. The ironic thing about that is I've stored my wolf packs in a bear box. You want to hear about the bear boxes? All of the campsites in this national park have bear boxes. They're a part of the bear management system. What happens if you leave food unattended in your vehicle or campsite? Bears will come along, discover that it's a place to get an easy meal. They'll keep returning time and time again, and at some point when they become aggressive, they might need to be killed. So storing your food or any other scented items in a bear box is actually mandatory according to federal law. I'm all packed up and ready to head home. I just have one quick stop along the way. Tunnel Rock. In the 1930s, no one anticipated the development of monster SUVs. About a mile and a half north of the Foothills Visitor Center, a flat granite boulder on the western side of the General's Highway caps a tunnel dug by the Civilian Conservation Corps. Until the highway was widened in 1997, this narrow passageway was the only route through. It's close to modern-day vehicles, which would have a tough time squeezing through side by side, but pedestrians can still stroll underneath it.